What is the most BS sounding, true fact that you know? The closest state to Africa is Maine. Ducking curved planet magic bullshit right there. Yet culturally, it's the furthest. The lines that separate lanes on US highways are 10 feet long. I need to lie down. Me too. Whenever I try to estimate distance with no context, I'm always way off. I'll be like, that's about 10 feet. Then someone with the right shoe will measure it, and it comes out to be like 15 to 20 feet, and they're like, you idiot, it's almost 20 feet. Do they get the same result if they measure with the left shoe? Australia once lost a prime minister and he's never been found. Edit. Holy hell, the Australians really don't like their current PM. They named a swimming pool after him, a swimming pool after a man who probably drowned. That's kinda like when a kid runs over on a street in the US and they install a speed bump that his parents have to drive over every day. Drinking straws only have one hole. How is it that this is the one that made me go whoa? You could drive to outer space in an hour if your car could drive up. I heard an interview with someone who solo kayaked the Air Pacific, and she talked about how weird it felt knowing that when she saw the International Space Station above, she was closer in proximity to the astronauts on board than to any human on Earth. With or without traffic? You can line up all 8 planets in our solar system directly next to each other, and it would fit in the space between Earth and the moon. Saudi Arabia imports camels from Australia. Edit. As many others have pointed out, they also import sand from Australia. Australia has the world's largest wild camel population. The continent with the highest average education level is Antarctica. Ducking penguins. Thinking they're smarter than me because they're living coats. North Korea and Finland are separated by one country. Norway and North Korea too. One of the richest countries on Earth and one of the poorest are separated by the biggest country on Earth. And the country that separates them has a larger surface area than Pluto. Also, between its discovery and dropping it out of the planetary club, Pluto didn't finish even one revolution around the sun. Soaking potatoes in hydrogen peroxide will turn the hydrogen peroxide into clean drinkable water H2O. Is good maybe for Western peoples, but in Latvia still thirsty. Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, is very unstable and will break down if you give it a stern talking to. That's why it is in brown bottles, because like a little bitch it can't handle photons. I don't see any reason to actually use a potato here when you can just set it out like sun tea. It's been mathematically proven that there are statements about mathematics which can't be proven. Let that sink in for a second. We've managed to prove there are things that are impossible to prove. Mathematics is fun. There are known knowns and known unknowns, but there are also unknown unknowns. Things that we do not know, that we do not know. White phosphorus was discovered when a dude collected almost 300 gallons of piss, let it rot, and then distilled the foul black sludge that resulted. I think he was looking for gold. He thought piss had gold in it since it's yellow. Wait, that's how you get rid of gold? BRB, pissing in a bucket and letting it sit. I've posted this before but it's relevant. If you take all the molecules in a teaspoon of water and line them up end to end in a single file line, they would stretch a staggering 30 billion miles. Also, more atoms in a tablespoon of water than there are tablespoons of water in the world's oceans. Humans can take the fall for koala crimes because we have the same fingerprints. Edit. Not wanting anyone to do something stupid, I should point out that only people with small fingers could possibly be framed for koala crimes. Or maybe I should get a bunch of koalas and give them the same fingerprints as me and let them take the fall for my crimes. The koalas are on a crime spree. Mass hysteria grips city. In Australia you will receive a $200 fine if you touch your electrified wire that causes instant death. I think in Chicago you can be arrested for tying your giraffe to a telephone post. In Seattle it's illegal to have a concealed weapon that exceeds 6 feet in length. I conceal a 6-foot weapon every day. What's that in your pants, sir? That's my halberd. 9/11 is closer to the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 than we currently are to 9/11. There's a number of stats along these lines that get thrown out. Also, Cleopatra lived closer in time to today than she was to the building of the pyramids. The T-Rex was closer in time to today than it was to Stegosaurus's. 1990 is closer to the moon landing than it is to today. You can live almost a month without any food. No water, 3 days you're dead. Actually, you can live the rest of your life without any food or water. If you took out an average man's large and small intestines and laid them all end to end, that man will die. But a woman would live. We can bleed for a week. Am I doing this right? Blue Cipher. The blue horse outside the Denver airport fell on and crushed the artist who created it. Denver native. Can confirm. And all hail Blue Cipher. People can fall off out of planes that are several thousand feet up in the air and survive the landing to said fall. And yet people have died by tripping and slamming their face into the curb. Edit. Holy shit. A lot of people have had relatives or friends that died this way. Sorry for your loss. I had a great uncle trip and drown in an inch-deep mud puddle. That is literally all people remember about him. The earth is smoother than a billiard ball if both were of the same size. In Thailand, it is illegal to leave your house if you are not wearing underwear. Sexy girl, whispering in my ear, I'm not wearing any underwear. Me, police. When getting a kidney transplant, removing the original kidneys is deemed too invasive, so they stuff the extra kidney in your lower stomach. The fax machine was invented before the California gold rush began. In the UK there's a law forbidding you to die within the Parliament building. You're forbidden to die. First I would like to apologize. I'm truly sorry. The youngest known mother was 5 years old. What the duck? Precocious puberty. It's very uncommon, but it does occasionally happen that an otherwise perfectly healthy and normal child will undergo puberty much earlier than the typical teen or preteen age. Nobody knows who knocked her up though. 14 hours of sleep will make you incredibly tired. That's probably because after a certain point of inactivity, a mild form of atrophy is settling into the body, making it harder to get going again. I can only imagine coma patients trying to get moving again after years of inactivity. Wiggle your big toe. If you're 35, you were born closer to World War II than to the present. Woo. Fortunately I'm 37. Now I won't feel so ancient. France was still executing people with a guillotine when the first Star Wars film came out. There are more synapses in your brain than there are stars in the galaxy. Oh synap. All the gold ever mined collected wouldn't be enough to fill 4 Olympic swimming pools. I'm not greedy. 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools full of gold will be enough for me. Floyd Mayweather can't read. Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in 2013, beating the second highest by over $20 million. He only had 2 fights and no endorsement deals, making his effective per hour rate $87,500,000 per hour. The richest bass player in the world is $1 billion richer than the second richest bass player in the world. The second richest is none other than Sting. Who is the richest? Sir Paul McCartney. Liquid tungsten is so hot that if you dropped it into a lava flow the lava would freeze the tungsten. Are you tungsten? Because you're dickin' hot. Fact, it rains diamonds on Jupiter. Also, did you know Barbara Walters was born the same year as Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr.? The fact makes me trust you, but the question mark makes me rethink my life. Nintendo was founded in 1889. Betty White is older than sliced bread, which makes sliced bread the best thing since Betty White. Barack Obama is the first president to have colored baby pictures. That's racist. Mammoths still walked the earth while the pyramids were being built. Tomato plants can be grafted onto potato roots and happily grow and live. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do the bottom of our oceans. I get that it might be surprising because of distance, but the fact that you can go out at night and see the moon with your own eyes makes this a little less shocking. There is an arrow on your gas gauge that tells you which side your gas tank is on. I know, I was astounded as well. There's also this hidden lever behind your steering wheel that not many people know about, and when you pull it a light on the back of your car starts blinking, indicating which way you will turn. If you shoot a bullet at a perfect 0-degree angle and drop a bullet precisely when the first bullet leaves the chamber, they will hit the ground at the same time. US citizenship isn't required to be a US federal judge, however citizenship is required to serve on a jury. There are stars so far away that we cannot see their light because the universe has not existed long enough for their light to travel all the way to us. We are mostly empty space. Technically speaking, on an atomic level, nothing is touching anything else. Girl, don't touch me. Well, technically speaking, on an atomic level, nothing is. Slap. How can she slap you if she can't touch you?